The next type of symbiosis relationship is mutualism, and this is when both organisms are helped. In the previous one, one organism was helped and the other wasn't. So in this one, both organisms are helped. For example, the butterfly and the flower. So flowers have a similar problem, as do barnacles. They cannot move, and so their choices for mates are very limited. So actually they fertilize themselves. They are hermaphrodites, meaning they have male and female reproductive parts. They can basically use their sperm, which is pollen. They can pollinate themselves to create their own seeds. And so the problem with that is a lack of genetic diversity. And obviously it is highly inbred, so there's issues with that too. So the flower, if it has the ability to, prefers to cross-pollinate rather than self-pollinate. And that is where the insect comes in. So the insect needs food, so it gets a sugary compound called nectar. And the flower advertises that it has that nectar with its colors. And in fact, the insect, whether it be a bee or a butterfly, it can see those colors, I believe in ultraviolet, which is a different wavelength of light than we can see. So if we could see in this light, these flowers would almost glow to us. So they're very attracted to them. So these insects land on the flowers, they take the nectar, and while they're on the flower, they actually pick up little tiny pollen grains. And then they fly, because they're still hungry, there's never enough food in one single flower. They fly to another flower, whereby they deposit the pollen, the sperm, into that flower to help in cross-fertilization. So they both get something. The butterfly gets the nectar, and the flower gets the sperm delivery. It gets the gene flow. Okay, so that's one example. The other example here is lichen. So this is a really cool one. Lichen, that's a bad highlight. I'm going to go back to red. Lichen is this green flaky stuff that's on this tree. And so if, I'm going to go to the left here and draw it for you. If we have a tree here, and the lichen is the green flaky stuff, it's a fungus, which is weird because it's green. Basically, it's a fungus that has algae growing inside of it. Algae is also weird. It's like, it can be protist, it can be single-celled like plants, it can be a lot of different things. Honestly, I don't think anybody really knows what algae is. I certainly don't. Anyway, algae is this plant-like cell that can form a symbiosis with lichen, and that is why it's green. But that's not the symbiosis we're talking about. And in this symbiosis with the tree itself, little feeding tubes, not roots, feeding tubes called hyphae, grow into the tree. And it sucks out the tree's syrup, or carbohydrates that it makes from photosynthesis. But then the lichen trades nutrients. It gives it phosphorus and nitrates and all sorts of good stuff that it can gather from soil that the tree can't. And so it's a very, very helpful symbiosis. When you see green flaky stuff growing on a tree, it is actually a sign of a tree's health rather than its disease. Next we have parasitism, which is really straightforward. So that is one organism is helped and the other is hurt. So the wasp that laid the eggs is helped, the insect is hurt. The caterpillar will be eaten alive when those little ticking time bombs, those eggs, go off. This is a cancerous growth on a tree. Yes, plants can get cancer, just like we can, and it is caused here by a virus. So the virus would be benefited and the tree would be hurt. And then we have a tick. So this particular tick, all ticks, take blood meals. So they take blood from their host, and so the host is hurt, but the tick benefits. Those are all parasitisms.